My story starts in the sunny suburbs of Los Angeles, a place where dreams are born under the golden Californian sun, and where every street seems to whisper tales of ambition and innovation. It was here, amidst the palm trees and endless blue skies, that my journey began. As a kid, I was fascinated by magic, not just the simple tricks you see at birthday parties, but the deeper, more intricate art of illusion. I spent countless hours practicing sleight of hand, perfecting my craft, and marveling at the way a well-executed trick could leave an audience in awe. Not the rabbit out of a hat kind, but the art of illusion, of making people believe the impossible. I was captivated by the idea that with enough skill and practice, one could manipulate reality itself, even if just for a moment. This passion for magic was more than a hobby. It was a window into a world where the impossible became possible. Little did I know this fascination would lead me down a path to become one of the most notorious hackers in the world. The skills I honed as a young magician would later translate into a different kind of mastery, one that involved not cards and coins but code and computers. It all began with a phone, a simple rotary dial phone that sat in our living room. To most, it was just a means of communication, but to me, it was a gateway to a new world. I was intrigued by the sounds it made, the clicks and whirs, and I wanted to understand how it all worked. My first hack? I was just 12. Armed with nothing but curiosity and a rudimentary understanding of electronics, I managed to figure out how to make free calls by manipulating the phone system. It was a small victory, but it felt monumental. I had outsmarted a system that was supposed to be foolproof. I figured out how to make free calls by manipulating the phone system. This wasn't about stealing. It was never about the free calls themselves. It was about the challenge, the thrill of outsmarting a system designed to be impenetrable. Each successful hack was a puzzle solved, a mystery unraveled. It was about the challenge, the thrill of outsmarting a system designed to be impenetrable. The adrenaline rush that came with each successful hack was addictive. It was like performing a perfect magic trick, but on a much grander scale. The stakes were higher, and so was the satisfaction. This early success fueled my curiosity. I wanted to know more, to understand more. I began to see technology not just as a tool, but as a playground for my mind. Every device, every system was a new challenge, a new opportunity to test my skills and push the boundaries of what I thought was possible. I dove deeper into the world of technology, spending hours dissecting systems, learning their weaknesses, and bending them to my will. I read every book I could find, scoured online forums, and connected with other like-minded individuals. Together, we shared knowledge, tips, and tricks, each of us driven by the same insatiable curiosity. The more I learned, the more I realized how vulnerable our digital world truly was. Systems that were supposed to be secure were riddled with flaws, and I was determined to find them. Not to exploit them for personal gain, but to understand them, to see the world through the eyes of those who built these systems. And the more I wanted to expose those vulnerabilities, not to harm, but to understand. I saw myself as a digital explorer, charting unknown territories and uncovering hidden secrets. Each vulnerability I discovered was a testament to my growing skills and a reminder of the endless possibilities that lay ahead. My intentions were never malicious. I was not driven by a desire to cause chaos or destruction. Instead, I was motivated by a deep-seated need to understand, to learn, and to push the boundaries of what was possible. I wanted to see how far I could go, how much I could achieve with the knowledge and skills I had acquired. I was driven by an insatiable curiosity, a thirst for knowledge that led me down a path I could never have imagined. Each new discovery, each new challenge, only fueled my desire to learn more. And as I delved deeper into the world of hacking, I realized that this was just the beginning of a journey that would take me to places I never thought possible. My early targets were systems that piqued my interest, systems that seemed unbreakable. These were the challenges that excited me the most, the ones that seemed impenetrable. I was drawn to the complexity and the thrill of attempting the impossible. The more secure a system appeared, the more determined I became to find a way in. One of my first major exploits was the Los Angeles bus system. It was a bustling network, a vital part of the city's infrastructure. The idea of manipulating such a public and essential service was both daunting and exhilarating. I saw it as a puzzle waiting to be solved. I wanted to ride for free. But it wasn't just about saving money, it was about proving to myself that I could outsmart the system. The challenge was to do it in a way that was undetectable, to blend in seamlessly with the everyday commuters. But not just any free ride, I wanted to create my own passes to understand the system inside and out. This meant delving deep into the mechanics of the bus fare system, understanding how it worked and identifying its vulnerabilities. It was a meticulous process that required patience and precision. I wanted to create my own passes, to understand the system inside and out. This involved studying the design and materials of the legitimate passes, observing how they were used and figuring out how to replicate them perfectly. It was a blend of technical skill and creative problem solving. Through social engineering, a technique I would become infamous for, I convinced a bus driver to tell me where to get the paper for the passes. This was a crucial piece of information, and obtaining it required a careful balance of confidence and subtlety. I convinced a bus driver to tell me where to get the paper for the passes. It wasn't just about asking the right questions, it was about building rapport, gaining trust, and making the driver feel comfortable enough to share sensitive information. Social engineering is about manipulation, about using charm and persuasion to get people to reveal information they shouldn't. It's a psychological game, one that requires an understanding of human behavior and the ability to think on your feet, about using charm and persuasion to get people to reveal information they shouldn't. It's about reading people, understanding their motivations, and knowing how to push the right buttons to get what you need. It's about understanding human nature, exploiting weaknesses, and using them to your advantage. Every interaction is a potential opportunity to gather information, and every piece of information brings you one step closer to your goal, and using them to your advantage. It's a skill that can be honed and perfected, and with each successful exploit, my confidence grew. I learned that it was often easier to trick a person than it was to hack a machine. People are the weakest link in any security system, and understanding this was key to my success. With the right information, I was in. Once I had the paper, I could create perfect replicas of the bus passes. It was a meticulous process, but the end result was indistinguishable from the real thing. I created perfect replicas of the bus passes, fooling the system and riding for free. Each successful ride was a testament to my skills and a reminder of the power of social engineering. Fooling the system and riding for free. It was a small victory, but it felt monumental. It was proof that I could outsmart a system that was designed to be foolproof. This was a turning point. It marked the beginning of my journey into the world of hacking and social engineering. Each exploit was a learning experience, and each success fueled my desire to take on bigger and more complex challenges. It wasn't just about the free rides anymore. It was about the thrill of the hack, the satisfaction of outsmarting a system that seemed so secure. It was about pushing the boundaries of what was possible and constantly seeking new challenges. It was about the thrill of the hack, the satisfaction of outsmarting a system that seemed so secure. Each successful exploit was a rush, a validation of my skills and ingenuity. The satisfaction of outsmarting a system that seemed so secure. It was a game, a challenge, and each victory was a step closer to mastering the art of hacking. The journey had just begun, and I was eager to see where it would take me next. As I honed my skills, my targets grew larger, my exploits more daring. I started small, testing the waters with minor hacks, but as my confidence grew, so did my ambition. I began to set my sights on larger, more complex targets, pushing the boundaries of what I could achieve. I infiltrated corporate networks, not to steal money or data, but to prove a point. I wanted to expose the vulnerabilities that lay hidden within these supposedly secure systems. It wasn't about personal gain, it was about demonstrating the flaws that could be exploited by those with malicious intent, to show the world how vulnerable their systems were. I believed that by highlighting these weaknesses, I could push companies to strengthen their defenses, to take cybersecurity more seriously. It was a mission driven by a sense of responsibility, a desire to make the digital world a safer place. My weapon of choice? Social engineering. Unlike traditional hacking methods that rely on technical prowess, social engineering exploits the human element. It's about manipulating people, playing on their emotions and instincts to gain access to information or systems. I realized that the weakest link in any security system is often the human element. People are trusting, they are the gatekeepers to the digital realm, and yet, they are often the most vulnerable. They can be tricked, deceived, and manipulated with relative ease. They want to be helpful. It's a natural human instinct to assist others, especially when they believe they are aiding a colleague or someone in need. This inherent desire to help can be a hacker's greatest ally, and I use that to my advantage. By exploiting this trust, I could bypass even the most sophisticated security measures. It was a game of psychological manipulation, and I was a master at it. I would impersonate employees, vendors, even law enforcement officers, all to gain access to confidential information. Each role required a different approach, a different set of skills, but the goal was always the same: to gain trust and access. I would call up a company, pretend to be from IT, and convince an employee to give me their password. It was frighteningly easy. People are often willing to share sensitive information if they believe it will help resolve an issue quickly. One of my most audacious hacks involved gaining access to the Digital Equipment Corporation's DEC computer network. This was a high-stakes operation, one that required meticulous planning and flawless execution. I didn't crack their systems with brute force. Instead, I relied on my ability to deceive and manipulate. It was a delicate dance, one that required patience and precision. I used my social engineering skills to convince DC employees that I was a high-level employee who needed access to their systems. I crafted a convincing backstory, complete with details that would make my story believable. I became a ghost in the machine, able to move freely through their network, reading sensitive files and leaving my mark. It was a surreal experience knowing that I had infiltrated one of the most secure networks in the world. The DC hack cemented my reputation as a master of social engineering, a hacker who could talk his way into anything. It was a testament to the power of psychological manipulation, and it earned me both admiration and notoriety in the hacking community. But it also put me on the radar of law enforcement. My high-profile exploits had not gone unnoticed, and I knew that it was only a matter of time before they would come after me. The game of cat and mouse had begun. It was a thrilling, yet dangerous game. Each move I made was calculated, each step taken with the knowledge that one misstep could lead to my capture. But for now, I was ahead, and the chase was on.